Now that you've had some practice writing narrative letters, we're going to write one completely of your own. So, what's your story? A narrative is a story. A personal narrative is your story. This activity does not need to be a personal narrative, but it can be if you want it to be. The task is to write a narrative letter to one of your friends or family members. That is the only instruction that you have in regards to the topic. What you'd like to discuss is completely up to you. For this assignment, consider narratives in letter form to be a friendly letter. That means you're going to be guided by slightly informal language because you're talking to someone that is a friend or a family member. The main goal is to describe a series of events that happened in the recent past, very similar to a phone conversation. This PDF is also available to you as one of your resources, and it is from Cambridge International Examination from Cambridge International School. You have three types of situations that you can use in your letter. One is everyday life situations with no major consequences, such as getting stuck in an elevator, locking yourself out of the house, meeting a famous person. In that situation, you want to make sure that you are not over dramatic or it won't sound convincing, and you don't make yourself up into a hero. However, it doesn't have to be true. You can use your imagination. Type 2. This is something that your friend might not expect you to do, such as an extreme sport or taking part in a school activity if you're shy. Again, doesn't have to be true. You can completely use your imagination. And then type 3 is your happiest or proudest moment, like winning a scholarship, losing weight, winning a contest, beating your best time on the mile. Again, doesn't have to be true, but make sure you don't present yourself as a hero. You don't have to tell the exact day it happened, and you don't have to write about wedding or graduation day because most students your age aren't going to be interested in something like that. What to include? Remember, it is a narrative, it is a story, but it's also friendly. So make sure, one, that you're paying attention to the fact that it is a letter, that you're writing chronologically, which means you begin at the beginning and you work your way towards the end. You want to make sure, again, just like every story, there's a definite beginning, that climax with the conflict building through up to that climax, and a conclusion. Make sure you set the scene. Easiest way to do that with your setting is by asking yourself those WH questions: where, when, things like that. Make sure you include time sequence phrases, then, after, things like that. Include connectors and include feelings. And the great thing about this PDF is it gives you some examples towards the end. Make sure you keep it short. We're writing for interest, and remember to say when something happened. Here are some introduction phrases that you can use for narrative writing. I can't wait to tell you. I'm dying to tell you. Wait until you hear. This is about or what happened. This is who or how. Okay? Set the scene. I was walking home from school with Sarah on Tuesday. Create a contrast between the scene you describe and the main event, that ordinary scene leading up to the unexpected event. And again, that's your rising action. That's part of that narrative structure. Include time sequence phrases giving it chronology, which is chronological order. These are things such as using past tense versions of a word, before plus an action verb, not an ing form. Because if it's ing, I am walking, that's present tense, not past tense. Again, do not use common phrases like firstly, then, and like, because it doesn't necessarily tell the time, okay? Connectors, these are your conjunctions, coordinating conjunctions, and, but, until, although. All of those will help the story flow. Include feeling words, and sometimes you might even need to describe what those feelings are, and you'll see some of the examples below. Here's personalizing and supporting phrases, creating interest, all of these things. Again, be very brief. Not necessarily do you have a time limit, or excuse me, a limit of length, but you want to make sure that you're focusing on the action, the lead up to the action, and the closing. You want to make sure that you've been able to tell the entire story. So then here's your different examples, and they've actually coded it for you that you can see time sequence. We were just about to, okay? When suddenly, connectors, here's but, here's because of. All of them are go through this. And it gives you some feedback as well. And these are just different types of things. I was horrified to realize that you're feeling words. So there's a lot of really great examples in this PDF. The other important piece to remember, again, is the fact that this is a letter, and with that comes a specific format. This is not a business letter, this is a friendly letter. So having dear person's name, again, you use a comma. Here's a general format for you where you introduce. You have anywhere from 1 to 3 body paragraphs. Typically, you have a closing. It's usually friendly as sincerely, yours truly, as always, your friend, whatever works for you. And then you would have your signature. Obviously, this is a text document, so typing your name is absolutely fine. Again, this is a fun activity. I sincerely hope that you enjoy using your imagination. Look back at your notes if you have any questions about narrative structure. If you also have additional questions after reviewing your content from the course, please feel free to reach out to your instructor. As always, have a great time.